friends, this is Laloon Bunny and welcome to my channel. For today's video is another addition to my top pick series, and this time we're going to be swatching Colorverse inks. So here are my supplies: the Kakimori Brass Nib and Tachikawa Nib Holder, and the three papers that I usually test: na MD paper, Sake Tomoe River paper, and the pacified or Pacipi Kunisawa paper. So let's start with this ink called Coffee Break. This is my favorite because one, it's brown. Two, it has coffee in its name. So it's part of their the Ordinary Day series. So I only have a sample of this ink, but because I love it so much, I already bought a bottle because it's quite hard to find. It's always sold out. So just to review the first paper, the leftmost paper is MD paper. It's cream dot grid paper. The second one is the Sake Tomoe River paper. It's another cream paper. And then the last one is the Kunisawa Pacipi paper. It's also in cream color. So sometimes there's a stark difference between the inks that I swatch from one paper to another, but sometimes it doesn't, like this one. The Coffee Break ink almost looks the same throughout all the three papers. This ink is a medium standard brown ink with just the right amount of shading, and I already used this on my Sailor Rogue Slim Mini in broad nib a few months before, and it has the right amount of flow, and I loved using it so much that I think it's the reason why I bought a whole bottle of this ink. Our next ink is called the Taepyeong Seongdae, and it's part of their Kingdom series. I'm just not certain which volume. So this ink is a, should I say, a top contender in being a replacement to Pilot Iroshizuku's Hahoe, which is a discontinued ink and is also a crowd favorite. So those are the three swatches. As you can see, it's the lightest on the MD paper and darkest on the Sake Tomoe River paper, and I think the middle ground is the Pacipi Kunisawa paper. So this ink is a nice dark olive green ink, or dark yellow green ink, which is also bordering on khaki, if you may. And I'm not sure if I have inked this on my pen before, but I'll check. And If not, then I'll be putting this ink on a pen this month. The next ink is another ink from their Joy in the Ordinary series, and this is called Walk the Dog. So again, I love it because one, it's green, and then two, it has a dog word in its name. So that's how the bottle looks like. And if you collect all the 6 boxes of Joy in the Ordinary series, you could put them side by side or on top of each other, and it will form the image that I just showed. As you can see, there are some differences between the swatches from one paper to another, but overall this green is such a very pleasant green, and it's just fresh. It also has some yellow or tan undertones to it, which I love. Although this ink, as I remember, is quite dry, but I only used it on a Laban Rosa fountain pen in medium nib, and I don't think it's quite the best pen for this ink, so maybe I'll just try it again with another pen, this time with a more lubricated pen, and we'll see if it's still dry. So the next ink is another part of the Joy in the Ordinary series, and I just love this series of Colorverse ink. So this is called Under the Shade. It's a gray ink, and I also included this on my gray ink swatches, which I uploaded recently, and I'll put the link down below if you want to check that video out. So this is another standard gray ink, and it also has some nice and cool shading to it. So far, I only lack 2 more inks to complete the Joy in the Ordinary series set. So I'll probably get those 2 sometime next year. So I only lack Delicious Sleep, which is purple ink, and Rainy Days ink, which is a nice blue ink. So I could complete the set because they're all nice, and I love how they shade so far. And I think I have a sample of Delicious Sleep, but I'm not yet on my purple ink era, so I did not include it here on my favorites. The next ink that I chose is the Colorverse Alpha Ari, and I have this in a bigger bottle of Colorverse ink. It's 65 ml, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So this ink is named after Alpha Arietis or Aritis or Hamal, which is the brightest star in the Aries constellation, as I have read from the description of this ink. So it's a peach brown, and I think you could also consider this as a dusky pink or dusky brown pink ink. Surprise, surprise! It's another ink from the Joy and the Ordinary series, and this one is Brunch Date. And I'm so happy I got a bottle of this ink because during the time that I was searching for it, or I was putting it on my wish list, it's quite hard to find. It's sold out everywhere almost. And I bought a lot of samples of this ink because I just love it so much. So, as you can see, I'm just showing the boxes of the Joy and the Ordinary series and how they complement each other. So this one is a brown pink or dusky pink ink, which is, as you all know, if you've been following me, brown inks and dusky pink or brown pink inks are my favorite color shade of inks, and Brunch Date is, of course, one of my favorite inks, and I think it's also a crowd favorite, safe to say. And I only have inked this on my broad Kaveco collection, just a smooth sage fountain pen, and it was such a dream to write with. Some say that this ink is quite dry, but since I inked it on my broad nib, so I did not have the same experience. So maybe in the future I'll try it with a medium nib and see if it writes dry. But so far with the broad German nib, it offers a smooth writing experience. So this ink is called Hahoe Mask. It's the last ink on my Colorverse picks, mainly because I don't have enough space anymore on this notebook. But I wanted to limit the ink choices. Well, the previous videos that I created only has 5 ink picks, but I think it's too limiting, so I adjusted it to 7. And this is beautiful ink. It reminds me of coffee, but the name of the ink comes from the mask, the Korean mask, which I'll show here. If I think you'll recognize it with the image. So that's the last ink pick for this series, for this Colorverse ink video. Let me know in the comments which among the Colorverse inks that I have swatched is your favorite. And if you also have other recommendations or other favorite ink from this brand. If you found this video helpful, I hope you give this video a like and subscribe to my channel, and also share this video to your friends who you think will enjoy this video as well. Again, this is the Loon Bunny. Have a creative and happy day. Bye!